We also learned something brand new about rules from Congress. We'll also talk about that near the end of the movie. Let's begin here. Would you like to add something? Yes, I'd say two things. To answer your first question about what is stopping people from adopting, I think there are three main ones. One is comfort, which will come from learning. As we already said, stable coins are very stable by nature. This is especially true for stable coins that are managed in a way that makes the biggest institutions feel comfortable using them, like how we do it with ours, which we'll talk about in a moment. Second, clear rules and positive factors will push many organizations to join stable coin use. Third, having the right systems in place to make that possible. I do believe there is a chance, and some have brought this up today, maybe we should try to build this new banking system on top of the old ones. It worries me that we might not be as bold and creative as we could be because we want to save money along the way or try to do things in small steps. I believe there is a better way to do things. We can still use the system to do our job. There's no plan to take down the current banking systems, but I do believe that this new technology gives us a huge chance to do great things. Rapidly, what you're seeing here is that banks and other financial companies are stressed about their future roles. When you have the whole DeFi ecosystem and can borrow and give money, do KYC, and do all of these other things on chain, you start to wonder what you'll use your bank for soon. For this reason, banks are starting to push back very hard because they are scared of this new idea. The way Jack is putting it is that if we just update the current financial system, it won't be able to use the technology the way it was meant to be used for instant 24/7, 365 movement of value and tokenization of financial goods. That's what I got from it. One last thing, not every stablecoin is the same. A dollar-backed stablecoin is the gold standard of stablecoins, and we've made it. BNY Mellon is taking care of us. Our whole reserve is held in high-quality cash-like assets. We leave the state of New York. We have a duty to. We keep our clients' money in bankruptcy remote accounts, among other things. As the laws continue to change in different places like the EU, where we'll get an EMI license, or Japan, where we're partnering with SBI, we're going through the front door of every regulator and doing things in a very controlled and compliance-first way. Another thing I don't think we'll have as much trouble with as other people is seizing the chance to work with big companies like Ripple and attract big institutions that want to get into this part of the business. Isn't it interesting? There are a lot of different technologies and uses for them in the crypto space. But as he said, not many companies are called to the front door. Ripple and some of the biggest banks in the world like SBI, BlackRock, and VanEck are working together and using XRP for a reason. I thought that was great. Tokenized and financial assets are becoming more widely used. But there are still a number of problems that need to be fixed. That's all I had to say about it. So part of this is the confusion of rules and laws. This is all over the world. The biggest problem is still the fact that different regions have different rules. Now the question is how to get everyone to use the same terms and words so that value can flow easily around the world. If you sell something in more than one place, how do you keep track of that? We need to figure all of these things out. Adding new features to old platforms. This is what R3, Ripple, and Chainlink are doing. We can see it now. Not enough rules for interoperability. There are a lot of different tokenization systems on the market today, and their protocols don't work with each other. We have a big problem there. High cost and not clear return on investment. So do these businesses offer these solutions? Can they even come through to stay in business, hire the right people, and grow? Do they have enough money? In the crypto business, I think that's been a big problem. Many people have great ideas, but they aren't very useful if they don't have the community and technology to support them. It talks about gaps in understanding and operations. That's a really important thing. And not enough money in networks for getting it to people. And I had this for some other study I was doing for another video, just so you know it. For some reason, it fits right in with what we're talking about. This shows on the left how much money, real estate, foreign stocks, and bonds there are in each group. And this is how much has been tokenized, which is on the far right. You can see that the real estate business is worth $650 trillion, but you've only tokenized 0.01% of it, or less than $20 billion. Stocks around the world, less than 0.001%. Bonds, less than 0.001%. Do you see what I mean? It's still too early to have a fun talk about how many assets have been tokenized, but we know it's going to happen soon. We do know from people in the business world that this could happen very quickly once it does. Not really. You won't have half the business on the new system and half on the old system. There will be a big bang one day. Now let's move on to another clip. How do you think the addition of stablecoins will help these cross-border payments? Yes, I agree that stablecoins are the best way to send money around the world. There's a lot of evidence that stablecoins are being used more and more. Ripple has been in the payments business since 2012, so we've really seen it up close. It really has to do with the fact that it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that value can be moved without any problems. It works better, costs less, and is faster. When it comes to a regulatory footprint, again, being regulated like we are makes a lot of FX trades less likely to happen or not happen at all. Errors are cut down. Using blockchain technology, there is a record that can't be changed. That's a dozen reasons why it's better. Also, we can already see the benefits of using stablecoins, not just in payments, but also in Ripple payments. These days, we've doubled down. We bought a business called Rail, which we told you about last week. 10% of all stablecoin payments. It's a $183 trillion business now. It's getting bigger. When I first wrote this, I also thought that Ripple would try to get more of the business-to-business stablecoin. Right now, they own 10% of Rails through Rail itself. Some of their other partners also own parts of that, but Circle is by far the biggest. It handles 18% to 20% of all business-to-business stablecoin payments. The top 50% to 60% of those companies are made up of Tether and a few other businesses. And I believe that everyone agrees that stablecoins will be used more and more in the world of payments. So that makes us happy. We're happy to be able to offer that kind of answer to institutions that also need better liquidity in one place. There are two parts to our business: trading and prime exchange. These days, you talk to company treasurers about how they'll keep those funds safe, and we're in the custody business. So we think about building the infrastructure that will help institutions make, store, move, and trade money within the system. That's where we're spending both in mergers and acquisitions and in developing the business from the inside. Ripple does need a few more pieces to go up against JP Morgan. One of them is the national banking license. One more is the alternative trading system. They might buy some kind of compliance business.